So, what have you done in the last 20 minutes?
I was watching TikTok. Just scrolling.
I hate when I tag myself in something and I don't immediately get the notification.
Don't you just hate when that happens?
I really do.
Jesus.
Oh. So you can't wait to talk about this stuff, huh?
Yeah, I got some. I guess I got some things to talk about here.
You're not mad at me for making you watch this, are you?
No.
Okay. Because you have been before.
Well, true. Not this time. Not this time.
Kind of bummed Will got busy and he wasn't able to make it. I was really like the three of us talking about, especially the 2006 one.
The 2006 one is a time.
Yeah.
It's something.
It exists. It's there.
It's
and oddly enough,
I
love it.
It's like I didn't hate any of these. Just, questionable decisions were made in some movies.
What up, Tom? Thanks for coming through. See, it's weird. Tom's here, but it doesn't say that we have anyone watching. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I also, like, for some reason, when I stream,
there it is.
Oh, there we go. If like anyone subscribes or anything, like it doesn't pop up on the side like it does for you guys.
Really?
Yeah, because because I think whenever we first got it, like the subs and everything, somebody did during the show, and I didn't know until I went on our Twitter account after the fact and checked.
Oh.
But I went into settings and everything, and I can't figure out why it's not popping up.
I couldn't help you with that because I'm not the technical side. I just show up and make magic happen.
You just show up and look pretty. Yeah, I know. I was just it was bothering me because I was I can't figure it out. It's pissing me off because I know the answer is probably so simple too. I'm just overthinking it, but
not you. You never overthink anything.
Me? No, never. Never in my life.
Not for a second. All right, you want to do this?
Let's do this.
All right, let me close down Pokemon.
Yeah, get off Pokemon.
I was waiting for you. I had to keep myself occupied somehow. You were on TikTok. I was here playing Pokemon.
Fair.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your number one horror podcast on Pornhub. Getting off. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-host this evening. I know the description because I made it and I set it up and I didn't go back and change it. It says that it is Katie, I, and Will. Unfortunately, Will is not able to make it, so you're stuck with just Katie and me today. And I think you're gonna have to fucking deal with it, and you're gonna be all right because we're amazing and you're gonna love us anyway.
Yeah. bitch.
You also just gave us a hand on the most recent episode of If You Have to Ask. Like, we banged that out. So, like, you did Smack and Raw final one of 2023 with me and Vince and Justin. You did If You Have to Ask exclusive for Patreon with me and Kate. And now you're doing the final Getting Off of the Year because, as you have said, my co-host, host of the She-Lead Showcase Inside the Mind of In the Crowd and Storytime with Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe, that this is as much your show as it is mine.
And there has not been a Getting Off that I have missed.
And I wouldn't have it any other way, especially with what we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, because we are getting in a festive mood. I've got my horror movie Christmas sweater on. I meant to wear the one for Smacking Around. I forgot. So that was the thing. But we're talking Black Christmas, and not just Black Christmas. We're talking Black Christmas 1974. We're talking Black Christmas 2006. We're talking Black Christmas 2019.
Yes,
All
sir.
three versions tonight in honor of the upcoming
Cribbis.
holiday season.
Cribbis.
What?
Cribbis.
Cribbis?
Cribbis.
Cribbage?
Yes.
Cribbage. In honor of Cribbage. So that is what you guys are in for today. And if you guys have seen these movies, you know it's going to be a fun one because Katie has thoughts.
Katie has thoughts. What
So
else is new?
last episode, you said you finally sat down and watched Black Christmas for the first time. Which one was it that you watched for the first time?
I watched the original.
Oh, 1974. So
Yeah.
you had no idea what was coming in 2006 or 2019.
No, I did not. And boy, oh boy. Well, what a... yeah, these are movies we watched.
These are movies we watched. Listen, these are things you would have never experienced if it wasn't for me. However, before we do that, Katie, do you have any horror news and rumors for us today?
I do. Just a few. It was, so the first one's not like anything major, but we did get like a little baby teeny tiny teaser of the Welcome to Derry series that's going to be on HBO or Max next year, or no, 2025, March 2025. But like it was very, very small snippet when they were doing like a preview of a bunch of shit that's going to be on in the next year or so. Looks fine. It was mainly just like the kids on bikes just riding down the street. Again, very short, and I think Pennywise was there. I don't know.
I have not seen this. I want to see this.
I can attempt to find it.
I'd appreciate that.
I can do my best.
Because I'm not like, it's a weird thing for me because it like we talked about it. It terrified me as a child. I like to this day, though he is old and not well and, you know, hopefully recovering soon. To this day, that man terrifies the fuck out of me just by looking at him. The original 1990 made for TV Tim Curry Pennywise. I really enjoyed the new stuff that they did. It's chapter 1 and chapter 2. Enjoyed the shit out of that. So much so that even though this is the thing that like scared me the most as a child, I went and actually read Stephen King's book.
You did. That is true.
So more Pennywise. And to quote the Joker from Epic Rap Battles of History, a little more PG and a little less 13 for your next gangbang scene.
We don't have to talk about that.
We do.
No.
So don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. But we can talk about the fact that A24, I have mentioned them on a few other shows, all of their movies will be exclusively on Max after they are out of theaters. Max is getting everything.
Max is getting everything for Christmas.
Well, Christmas after they're done in the movie, like the theaters. So Iron Claw will be
on Max
after it's run in the theaters, which I hope it gets a nice long run in the theaters next week.
I don't think I'm going to be able to. Sometimes we go to see a movie for Christmas, so maybe we'll get that chance to go do that. But we haven't really been able to since Zoe, and it's kind of hard to like, hey, watch my daughter on Christmas. We're gonna go see a movie. So like,
Yeah.
we'll see. But I would love to see that. And I have not been a lot of shit in theaters I wanted to see that I haven't got to. I finally last night sat down and watched Sisu.
Watch what?
I thought maybe I didn't watch the trailer with you, but essentially it's set in World War II with the Nazis. There's this dude who was like a Finnish soldier or whatever, and he's now a gold miner, and he strikes gold out in like the middle of fucking nowhere, and he has to travel with this gold to try and cash it in, and he runs foul of Nazis, and they try and take his gold, and then he fucks up a bunch of Nazis.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, no, we enjoyed it. Kate said that was interesting and also weird, but like everything's John Wick nowadays, so like this was just old man John Wick. That's all it was.
Gotcha. Oh my god, it's Keanu Reeves. Fucking love Keanu Reeves. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is getting an official pinball machine from Spooky Pinball. We talked about pinball machines like a few weeks ago. I don't remember what we were talking about. Oh, we were talking about the South Park one. And it like when I saw that, I was like, oh hey, pinballs. That's cool. But they're getting like an actual machine, not like just something in a game.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I love pinball.
How do you feel about Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
There is a whole episode that people can go watch to hear my thoughts, feelings, and opinions. I don't remember what episode it is, number-wise, but it's there. They can go look. Because
do you prefer Texas Chainsaw Massacre or Texas Dildo Masquerade?
Neither.
Because one of those you can go watch an episode of Getting Off where we break down the entire Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. The other one you can go watch the porn parody to exclusively at pornhub.com/model/creation world.
Yeah. That would just make Matt so happy if you did that. Right there. Right there. I talked about this on Smack in a Row, but it also counts because it's also technically horror, and we did an episode on it. Twisted Metal Season 2, confirmed, will be happening.
Cannot
I love
wait.
that I've got to talk about this so many times.
I love that I got you guys all hooked on the fucking show.
It was so good, and I was upset that it ended the way it did, and I was like, I better get more of this. There's been too many things where it ends on like a cliffhanger of sorts, and I don't get resolutions, and that pisses me off. I need resolutions.
I'm sure you can appreciate this. Like, as a nerd fan, a fan of all nerdy things, horror, video games, all this, when you can introduce your friends to something and they genuinely enjoy it and embrace it as much as you have, there's no greater joy in a nerd's life than being like, here's some really nerdy shit. You love it too? And that's what that was for me.
And that's probably what that was for Reek when I finally watched Star Wars for the first time. This guy.
He said Vince showed up and said he just came here to whip his dick out and then leave. For all of you audio listeners who can't see this, you guys should be watching. But I listen to podcast audio. I get it.
Yes.
Do it while I'm driving. Understand. Vince, I appreciate it. I wish it was a little bigger and I could see it, but thanks for stopping by and trying anyway.
Anyways, you'll appreciate this next one. Oh no, I'll save that one for last because that one's more entertaining. I want to get your thoughts. Orphan 3 is now in active development. Thoughts on Orphan 3?
I don't remember. I watched The Orphan 2. I remember absolutely nothing about what happened in The Orphan 2. Zero.
So it was the prequel to the first one. Esther escapes the asylum, goes to a family, pretends to be the daughter, but the mom and the brother killed the daughter. So when Esther shows up, the mom and brother know that that's not the girl. And then, shenanigans and fires and everything. So I don't know what the fuck this one can be about.
Yeah, unless it's what happens after the Orphan 1. Yo, Tommy.
I don't even remember how Orphan ends.
Great. I don't remember how, like, I know that the family figures out that she's an adult and she's not a child.
Yeah.
And she was trying to kill their children and tried to kill the mom and tried to kill the dad.
Vera Farmiga, by the way, which is disrespectful. How dare you?
But I'm pretty sure she gets away in the end. Like, it's one of the kind of like what we saw in what we're going to talk about, where like, oh, they're dead, but then it's not really that they're dead, sort of thing.
Shit pisses me off.
I don't know. Like, I could take it or leave it. Like, someone's like, this chick's 40. Yeah, but like, she still looks like she's fucking 13.
Still looks very yeah. And they did a lot of like movie magic camera at work to make her look small in Orphan 2, which I loved hearing about because that was so cool. But I don't know. Whatever. On September 27th, 2024, Saw 11.
I talked about this on the Creation Conversation when it dropped.
I wasn't there.
I know. I'm just saying. We talked about this on Creation Conversation when it dropped. You know how I felt about Saw 10. I'm never going to not want to see something new featuring John Kramer. Saw 10 wasn't my favorite installment in the series, but it wasn't like, it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. I don't think I've ever actually seen a Saw that I didn't in some way, shape, or form enjoy. And it might be one of those movies that I'll enjoy more consecutively watching it later than I did just the one time. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, there's a Saw tie-in to one of these movies.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Let me actually do my homework real quick because I wrote it down and now I'm second guessing myself and I hope I'm right.
So I'll tie into one of what movies?
One of Black Christmas movies.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me.
While Katie's doing that, I want to thank everyone for joining us, whether you're watching us over at twitch.tv/Creation World, where if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you have Prime Gaming. If you have Prime Gaming, you can link it to your Amazon Prime account over on Twitch. Link those two, the Twitch account to the Amazon Prime account, the Prime Gaming account. You get a free sub every month.
Sorry.
With that free sub, you guys can show us your support, whether it is us here at Creation World, whether it is Katie over at the She Leads Showcase, our boy Will over at Botch Spots and Chair Shots who couldn't be here. That sub costs you nothing. Use it. Don't let Jeff Bezos keep that money. Let it go to your favorite content creators, especially this time of year. Spread a little season's cheer. Spread your butt cheeks for us and give us that sub. Because if you're my sub, you do what I say. And I said, anyway.
Wow.
Do that for us. Also, check us out over at youtube.com/Creation World, where it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Katie, what does that do?
Boost the algorithm, helps find new listeners.
That is erect. You know what else is erect? Me, because I am a
whore.
That is correct. For your likes, for your views, for your listens. I want you to share me with everyone that you care about. I've said it time and time again. I appreciate Katie not telling my wife that I say this every day, because we just did a show together. But this is what I ask of you, to share me around and spread me around like the whore that I am, for likes, listens, follows, attention, because I want to entertain you. What is a whore for but to entertain?
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So let me entertain you and everyone you love. If you find me entertaining, I'm sure the people that you enjoy will also find me entertaining. So share me around a little bit. While you do that, flick the bean. And while you're flicking the bean, also hit that notification bell up top, which we refer to as flicking the bean. Get notified every time we go live, Monday through Friday, for the Creation Conversation. This is the last upcoming week of the Creation Conversation for 2023 before our 2-week hiatus. So come check us out. Also, every Saturday for Smacking It Raw, except for the next 2 Saturdays, Smacking It Raw finished 2023 last night with our rear end review. Please go check it out. We had a fucking blast. And every other Sunday for Getting Off, except this is the last Getting Off of 2023. So you're going to have to come back on January 7th and check us out for our next episode. We're not even 100% sure what the fuck we're going to be doing that day, but we'll know by then, and you'll come check it out, and it'll be great. So do that. Get notified whenever we go live or we drop any new content. You're going to thank yourself because we got good shit for you.
Yep.
And with all that said, Katie, I think it's time to get into the show.
Oh, boy.
It's beginning to look a lot like Black Christmas.
Hey, Papa.
So I figure we'll just go chronologically. I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah.
Black Christmas 1974, the very first and only Black Christmas you had seen up until this past week. Yep. In my opinion, it's very much like When a Stranger Calls. You know, you got the first person POV of the killer, the calls coming from in the house, all of that. It's kind of funny. We were talking about Wonder Woman earlier, and while she doesn't play Wonder Woman, she plays Lois Lane, DC tie-ins.
Oh, okay.
We had Margot Kidder in this movie, as well as Olivia Hussey. Margot was an alcoholic who just liked to have some fun and fuck with people. Fellatio being the extension was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah, but this movie was interesting, to say the least. I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, I've heard of Black Christmas and I've heard of the movies. I had a little tiny bit of knowledge. But when I watched this, I was not expecting that. Not expecting... And I appreciated the first-person POV for the killer. I appreciate that. Because that's fun. I don't know. I really just don't know how I feel about this movie.
Well, so I'm with you on that, right? I actually saw the 2006 one before I saw this one. So, like,
okay.
In my mind, 2006 is what Black Christmas is, regardless. But, like, so the killer who's calling the sorority house, because that's the thing. That's the one constant in Black Christmas, is it always revolves around a sorority.
Yes.
And that is the only constant in these movies is sorority. There are some tie-ins between these two, not so much 2019. But
there's one thing that is in all three movies besides the sorority.
Okay. They call this killer the Moaner because he's calling the sorority house and moaning and grunting and making noises. The Moaner may be my favorite serial killer name. But also he is he talks dirty. So at one point he calls them, and I got this quoted.
Okay.
I apologize in advance that you have to hear me say this.
Oh.
He says, "Suck my juicy cock and let me lick your pretty piggy cunt."
Ugh. Ew.
I'm not a smart. Okay, I am a smart man, but like I'm not a. Listen, if you're watching this, any female out there, please let me know if having your vagina referred to as a pretty piggy cunt seems appealing to you, because I just don't understand who would. I mean, there are people that like they have got humiliation kinks and stuff like that, so maybe it falls into that, but like never once in my vast sexual escapades have I ever thought, you know what, I'm gonna call that a pretty piggy cunt. Never.
No, I hate that with a burning passion. And ugh. 70s, man. Jesus.
Again, the smoking. At one point, what was her name? Jess, or no, not Jess. Margot Kidder's character was.
I didn't write that one down.
I got Justin Peter. Barb, that's what it was.
Oh, that was close.
Who is an alcoholic, is giving alcohol to a child, like openly.
Yeah.
Just letting the kids sip off alcohol like it was nothing, because it's the 70s and that's what happened. Like, it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this, and for all three movies, they do kind of tackle a hot topic of sorts. 2006 is one that's very much illegal and everywhere you go. But this one was abortion, and that was kind of shocking for a 70s movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was not expecting that, and I appreciate that.
So I was going to address this when we got to 2000. It'd be like, sorry. I was going to address this when we got to 2019, but we'll address it now. So I've always been one to be like, I've kind of shit on art house horror movies because I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to watch a horror movie and have like to think about my life. Like, I go there to escape, right? However, when I say that, I'm talking about movies that everyone's like, oh, the subtext in the way that the movie was shot and blah, 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 blah. And like, they do with things, a lot of what A24 does, some of which I like, some of which I don't. But stuff like The Witch, stuff like It Follows, what's the other one? The one where the girl who gets decapitated very early on.
Hereditary.
That
terrible movie.
Stuff like those. Like, they're not my kind of horror. I'm not for that. However, I don't mind tackling social issues in horror movies, especially when that's clearly the point of the movie, is to take that social issue and put it front and center and build a horror narrative around it. So you look at Jordan Peele, who makes horror movies for Black people. He tells Black stories, Black horror movies. Like, that's what he says. That's what he does. And people take issue with that. And that's just fucked up, because why shouldn't Black people have their own space to, tell stories about what affects them and scares them? In this case, same thing. Women, whether it's abortion, the woman's rights to abortion, how women are looked at and treated. We'll talk more about the issues in the 2019 movie, which was also right around the Me Too movement, which made so much sense, and how they handled it. All of this stuff. So like, that point, I don't have an issue. Like, that's not what I talk about when I say I don't want to have to go home and like think. And if you feel that way, then I don't know what to like. If you're a person who is anti-abortion and you see this movie and you see this girl who is looking to have an abortion, and the way her boyfriend Peter, who is a complete and total piece of shit, treats her due to this, along with the horror setting, and you can't either take your beliefs about abortion out of this and enjoy it for the horror movie it is, or see the point of view that they're trying to drive home, where they're coming from, and the lack of body autonomy and rights that women have, and how they're treated, then that's kind of on you. Like, you can either take it for what it is and try and hear their side of the story and see why this is a horror story for them, or you can just enjoy it for a horror movie and try and ignore it, or you can just be stuck in your own beliefs and let that ruin the experience for you, and that's on you. Me personally, we sell or sold pro wrestling pro-choice t-shirts. No misgivings on where I lie on women's body autonomy and women's rights. And obviously we support the LGBTQ community. Love Katie and everyone else. We support Black Lives Matter. This is who we are. This is what we do. These are the things that we support, and having horror movies addressing these topics and a way to kind of get it out there and tell these people's stories in an art form that they appreciate and they love, I appreciate and love. So I'm with you. Addressing this, especially back in the 70s, big deal. And Peter was a jackass.
Mans was like, oh, well, like, oh, I'll take you to the hospital and we'll get. She's like, no, we're not keeping this thing. I don't want this. No, thank you. And then he goes on to destroy a piano in a fit of fucking rage because he's a psychopath.
I feel like all penises are dickheads.
Well, true.
I said penis, not pianist, but he was both.
Yes, He was both.
I don't know, something about like those classical musicians and their temper tantrums and shit. Just, I feel like it's a trait.
Yeah, it's because they're just hyper focused on getting this, like focusing on their craft, their music, and just anything around them is just nothing.
Peni is the plural of penis.
Cacti is a plural of cactus.
So Jess, again played by Olivia Hussey, who's our main character, is pregnant, does not want to stay with Peter, wants to have an abortion. Peter is not about it. Also is dealing with the moaner who is calling from inside the house.
Yeah.
Did you, at the end of this film, feel like maybe Peter was the killer? Like, were you sold on that?
This is the one thing that pissed me off about this movie is like I don't like they don't. You're led to believe that Peter is the killer. The majority of the movie, and especially at the end, you're led to believe that Peter's the killer. No, I don't believe that shit for a second. I don't know who it is. I don't know if they were in cahoots or anything like that, but I was just like, it pisses me off because I need answers and things, and I didn't get a clear-cut answer in this, especially at the end.
No, we know Peter's not the killer because obviously the bodies were still up in the attic and you could hear the killer. So
yeah, he calls again.
One of the tie-ins, and something that they kind of explored more in the movie that we're going to talk about next is the reference to Billy and Agnes in the moaner's inane ramblings that were going on, and also dirty talk over the phone. And then again, as she's laying there and Peter's dead, she killed Peter, she's recovering, so on and so forth. We kind of go up in the attic and see that someone's still in the house with the dead bodies, more than likely the actual killer. It wasn't Peter. Shout out to Lieutenant Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street, Nancy's dad, who also showed up in this.
Yep. I was like, oh, I know him. I've seen him before.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So yeah, no, we've got that tie into 2006. Jess kills Peter thinking he's the killer, but at the end of the movie, we hear singing and footsteps in the attic with a light. Hear the voice say, "Agnes, it's me, Billy." Killer's not dead.
Yeah, killer's not dead.
And then, like you said, the whole theme behind abortion and women's rights and body autonomy, the fact that Peter wants her to give up her dreams, the reason she's in college to begin with, to be a housewife and raise his child and let him
fuck that.
Why do men think that all women want the same thing? And when they don't, then there's something wrong with them.
Because fuck the patriarchy. That's why, Matt.
Yeah. What is the one thing that was in this movie that we didn't talk about that is in the other two movies, Katie?
It is I guess it's glass or crystal. I don't necessarily. It's the unicorn head. I'm assuming that would just be glass, right?
Yeah, it's glass unicorn head.
Yeah. It caught my eye obviously in the first one, and then 2006 I was like, okay, and then 2019 I was like, okay, at least that's consistent. I can take that. That's fine.
Yeah, there's a glass unicorn head used as a weapon a few times.
Yeah, just a few.
Apparently, so like Michael Myers has a butcher knife, Jason has a machete, the moaner / Billy / toxic frat boys, or the sorority girls fighting toxic frat boys, use glass unicorns, crafted unicorn heads with the horns and stabbing.
I mean, I feel like it's a very good weapon to stab somebody with.
As long as it's solid glass, because like you don't want to stab somebody and have it break.
Solid. That thing looked heavy as fuck. That was probably like 5 pounds of just pure glass, at least. And like that's heavy to just like pick up and just like try and,
Possibly. All right. I don't know why it does that, but anyway. My headphones are plugged in, right? These are
Uh,
direct, and it says that the battery life on the headphones that don't have batteries is at 18%
well, that's not true.
at
If they
all.
don't have that's weird.
Yeah. But also, when I had issues with these headphones, my
Mhm.
lovely handy dandy. Oh, by the way, they were Cohen. I did find
Oh,
out, but Kate got me a new pair for Christmas, so you'll
nice.
see those when we return.
Ooh.
They were also reading at 18%, so I don't know what the fuck's up with that.
Hmm. I
Neither
don't know.
here nor there. Black Xmas,
Yes.
2006.
Yes.
So we looked at Black Christmas, When a
Hmm.
Stranger Calls, 1974, and all of that, and we're like, all right, we're more interested in the Billy Agnes thing. That's what we're interested in. Who was Billy? Who is Agnes? What was going on? And that is essentially what this story is crafted around. So our lovely women, our lovely sorority girls, which feature a lot of famous faces from the 2000s, whether it's Katie Cassidy, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Michelle Trachtenberg, Lacey Chabert,
Chabert, I think.
Chabert, yeah.
Whatever.
Who
Gretchen
I
Wieners.
love, Gretchen Wieners. I love Gretchen Wieners and everything she does.
Hell yeah.
Um, all are part of a sorority.
Mhm.
Um, what else? Hold on.
Because
The
it's
other
not the same sorority.
no, the drunk chick though, that's in this one who I like
Oh, oh my god.
because she's naked in a lot of stuff and she wasn't in this, but almost, and I was a little disappointed. Um,
Wait, the drunk girl?
Crystal Lowe, yes, she's in a lot
Yeah,
of horror movies.
she has a shower scene.
Yeah, but you don't see anything.
I mean, you see some stuff.
No, you don't.
You see a boob.
You don't see nipple. It does not count if you do not see nipple.
Don't quote Mean Girls at me.
Gretchen Wieners was in this. It's apropos.
We should totally just stab Caesar.
Anyway,
Anyways.
Crystal Lowe was in this as well. So these girls are living in a frat house. The frat house used to be the home of the Lenz family. Billy, his father, his mother, and then through a terrible turn of events, after mom decided to step out because his mom was shitty, like
Oh, she was awful.
the worst possible human / mother you could have. Like poor Billy was born with a rare liver disease that made his skin yellow, like
Yep.
off-puttingly yellow,
Yeah.
neon yellow, like brown mustard neon yellow. It was weird.
Like glow in the dark yellow.
And she did not love her child. This was not the child that she wanted.
No.
So because of that, she hated her husband and hated her son to the point that she like took like the ornament, like baby's first Christmas ornament, and crushed it, and, like dropped it into the crib with him, which was like he was one less than like
He was just trying to hang out in his little bassinet. And no, crush up the ornament, you fucking bitch.
So throughout the movie, we find out that mom got a new boyfriend.
Mhm.
Dad, who was a Marine, I'm a little upset, like as an ex-Marine, couldn't take this dude on, but gets murdered by mom's new boyfriend with a hammer. Billy sees this happen and then also watches mom and the new boyfriend try and bury dad under the house.
Yep.
Gets caught,
Yep.
climbs up into the attic, and then mom
Mhm.
locks him in the attic. And like my whole thought was like, okay, but if he was able to get from the attic through the house and down into the crawl space under the deck, that he can still do that. Like he can, like you putting the lock on the attic door doesn't keep him up there.
No, there's a little bit of flawed logic in that, but I mean, we surpass it.
So Billy is trapped in the attic, living his life. I'm not even sure if or how or when his mom's feeding him, but mom wants another baby because Billy wasn't good enough. And unfortunately, new drunk stepdaddy keeps passing out in the middle of sex, and mom gets frustrated. So what does mommy do? Mommy climbs up into the attic completely naked, drops her robe in front of Billy, climbs into the rocking chair with him, and makes Agnes the daughter that she wanted. And poor Agnes, I don't know if it's because she just got bad genetics or it's because of the incest, but
Probably more the incest, but
that girl, that was not an attractive child.
I and like again, they do red herrings throughout these movies. I was dead set on Eve being Agnes. I was like, it makes the most sense because like her eye gets taken out by Billy in a flashback, and she's got glasses very similar to mine, where the one eye is very enhanced. And I was like, ooh, relatable. I feel that. So I was like, it has to be her, and then it wasn't her, for obvious reasons. Her head is like in the sun.
We'll get there. So as we're learning the story of Billy, as it's being told, Billy attacks his sister daughter. I don't know how that works. Sister daughter. As you said, rips her eye out. Because one Christmas he's just fed the fuck up. Like he's tired of watching mom dote on this child and ignore him. He also kills his mom, uses her skin to make Christmas cookies because she says something, you're my Christmas cookie and I could just eat you up. So he's like, all right, bet.
Say less. I'm in.
Got it.
Noted.
Rips his sister's eye out as she's a child, blah, 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 blah.
Ugh.
Billy goes away. Billy goes
locked up.
a mental institution for like 20 years, right? Locked up.
No.
I'm locked up. Back to 2006 and our amazing cast of famous sorority girls hanging out over Christmas. These are the leftover girls who didn't leave with their boyfriends or friends on vacations or have family to go home to. Katie Cassidy is dating a townie, boy from town, who is also sleeping with another one of the sorority sisters, or at some point did, and has a fetish for recording his sexual escapades. So that's like a whole thing that's going on. Yep. Claire is trying to reconnect with her sister. She gets murdered. Her sister shows up, hangs out, tries to figure out what's going on, which is similar to the first movie where Claire's dad shows up looking for her. She's dead, and her dad hangs out and tries to find where the fuck his daughter is.
Yeah.
Though he was kind of a stick in the mud.
Yeah. Well, because, again, 70s. And at least in this one, that's the teacher from Final Destination.
Yeah.
I was like, she looks so familiar, because I was like thinking she was like somehow in the original one. I was like, the timing doesn't make sense, but maybe she was like a background character or something. I don't know. And then I was looking at her IMDb and I was like, oh no, that's what I know her from.
You know, she looks kind of like Margot Kidder. She does.
Yeah.
Especially in this, but it's Kristen Cloak.
Yes.
Who, like you said, Final Destination was Miss Luton. Also in Lady Bird and X-Files and a bunch of shit.
Yep.
So girls are going missing. We're trying to figure out what's going on. There's a snowstorm. Can't get anybody out to the house. It's going to take too long. People are getting killed.
Yeah.
Billy also tricks a guard at the prison into coming into his cell, murders him with a candy cane that he sucked to a point to use as a shiv. Then poor fucking insane asylum Santa.
Poor Santa.
Hold on. Hey, listen. All right. He was just minding his own business, delivering presents to all of the asylum patients. That lovely young intern came on to him.
Doesn't matter.
And listen, if she wanted to sit on my lap and tell me whether or not she was a good girl all year, I would make a list and check it twice. Like, I get it. Billy gutted that motherfucker, took his Santa suit,
and then shoved him in the bag.
And just carried him out like it was nothing. Went home, found all of these girls living in his house, and was like, what the fuck's this about? He's just trying to find his sister. Because where the fuck did she
Sister-daughter?
go? Sister daughter, yeah.
Sister daughter.
His family. She's my family now.
She's
She's my family. Technically, she's always your family because she's both your sister and your daughter.
She's your family from the jump, bro.
Yeah, there's no getting rid of that.
Like that's like Fast and Furious, like family type shit, except way worse.
So we've got the shitty boyfriend, different kind of shitty than in the original one. That people think might be the killer. He kind of helps narrate along with the house mother the story of Billy and get us through what Billy did and how he got there.
Yep.
He gets his just desserts. These poor girls get murdered in various ways.
Oh, yeah.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead goes off, like not off screen, but like you just see a splatter of blood in the car as they're scraping the window. You don't see how she dies. As you said, Eve loses her head.
Michelle Trachtenberg gets an ice skate to the face.
Ice skate to the face. We see the unicorn.
Yep.
With the plastic bag and
the plastic bag is also the plastic bag and the Christmas lights is a staple in all three movies too.
Which is,
I mean, not always effective, but
yeah, the Christmas lights make sense because it's Christmas time, and that like who if you make a Christmas movie and you don't kill somebody with Christmas lights, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
sure.
What the twist is in this one? Agnes is not Eve. Agnes is essentially the mold that they use for the masks in White Girls.
Stop it.
Am I wrong?
No.
Did Agnes not look like one of the White Girls?
White chicks. Excuse me.
White chicks. Sorry. Yes. White chicks.
I mean, when you say it like that, yeah.
The blonde hair and all of that.
A little bit.
And then we get kind of a Scream 4-esque ending. We're at the hospital with our final heroine. Billy's still alive and coming for her at the hospital. We've got the paddles.
Yeah. The paddles.
Agnes survives. The house gets set on fire. Billy's burned.
Yeah, like, are they just fucking superhuman? Because they were both declared dead.
I mean, it's a horror movie.
But still. No. No. You and your incest child don't get to survive because of that.
For maybe the liver disease is what kept him alive. And then you don't know the power of incest, Katie. Incest babies can have. I don't ever want
to know that.
We don't yuck any. That is a yum that we may yuck. That specifically, yes, we yuck that yum.
Because that is 100% illegal. Yes.
For reasons, specifically Agnes, because you're making slightly deformed superhuman babies.
Superhuman babies. Sad yellow baby.
Sad yellow baby.
I mean,
that was a sad yellow baby. That's not a racist thing. That's literally the skin
tone.
The
color of his skin is like neon yellow.
Yellow, which we talked about.
Kind of, I just don't understand. Like, even if you have a liver disease, like, there's no way your skin gets like that yellow.
Which one did you like better, 2006 or 1974?
2006.
Even with all the incest and the cannibalism and the...
It's because I knew more people in the movie, obviously, and like it was just, I don't know, I liked this one, and at least I got to know who the fucking killers were. Killer, whatever. Like I got an answer. So well, I mean,
yeah. The killer very well could have been Billy in the first one too. It sounded like it was. Billy's the moaner in the first one.
Well, it was never confirmed. So
fair.
I have confirmation in 2006.
So while we approve of the pro-choice message of 1974, We prefer the anti-incest message of 2006 because of the actresses and actors that were in it. And it is a little more updated. It's still dated. Like, we still got caller ID. They still talk about Star 69. There's still a fucking house phone.
The Star 69, I was like, damn. That one took me back. I was like, holy shit.
Cell phones were still in like their infancy of what they would become.
Yeah, they had like razor phones and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this is the first one I watched. I watch this one every year. It has a special place in my heart, despite
I get it.
What mommy does to Billy in the attic, flowers in the attic.
Ugh. And like, if you've seen those movies too, like, goddamn.
Yeah.
It's 50 Shades of fucked up is what those movies are.
It is 100% 50 Shades of fucked up. You know what's not 50 Shades of fucked up, Katie?
What not?
Our Patreon. If you could pull that link up for me, I would appreciate it. Well, I forgot to add the video again.
I saw you. I kind of forgot that. There you go.
You didn't say anything. Patreon.com/Creation World, where we have tiers for you guys. As I talked about, Katie and I, and my wife Kate, just recorded the latest episode of If You Have to Ask Tonight, so it will be available for you very soon. I also need to name that and send a name to Travis, because I just put episode 2 - and I didn't put a name in it because I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about. So that's the thing. But it will have a name when it gets uploaded. You guys will be able to check that out. And here, Katie, you tell them about it. How did you enjoy being here and what was going on? Because you got to be a part of it.
Oh my God. I told Matt and Kate that it's so much more fun being a part of the show instead of watching it after the fact and being like talking to my computer as if they could fucking hear me. Just like expressing how I feel. And I love Kate. So like, she's awesome. And I see Matt every week. So like, obviously that was great. And seeing the two of you just like interact, because I haven't seen it since I was in Chicago. So it was fun. I loved it. And Reddit's a fucking time.
So if you're unaware, it's Am I the Asshole post that we were talking about and covering. We actually had a few assholes this time. So that'll be something for you to enjoy. Also, me and my wife bicker as usual, as per usual.
It's very fun to watch.
That'll be a fun time for you as well. Also, we have Return to Wrestling with Travis and I, which last weekend we recorded the latest episode, which was Slamboree 1998. And that is up and available right now on Patreon. So you can go check that out. For that same dollar, you get those two podcasts. You also get Multiverse with Travis and Mara. They will have a new episode coming out this month as well. They go and talk about DC animated films. So yeah, $1 gets you all of that. And if you want more, we have more. If you go to patreon.com/creationworld and you click the link, you will see all of the tiers that we have and everything we have to offer. Now, everything that $1 tier is available as you go higher. The more support you show us, you don't lose anything. You only gain more shit, including this show ad-free. Because who wants ads?
Not me.
Katie, what season is it?
The holiday season.
It is the holiday season. What do you do in the holiday season?
Buy gifts for people.
You buy gifts. And what helps?
What helps?
Purchasing. Yeah, like with all this purchasing, like what helps, lighten the load a little bit with all the money you're spending?
Promo codes?
Promo codes. We have promo codes for you, for things that you can get for yourself, for your loved ones, adults. Don't buy kids this shit. From our sponsors. So please check out our sponsors. Enjoy them. Travis is here to tell you about them. Once Katie pulls down the Patreon, I will hit that video and he can tell you all about everything that our sponsors have to offer.
Spice things up in the bedroom, then it's time to check out Adam and Eve. Because you see, Adam and Eve is the leading adult toy store that offers a wide range of products to help you explore your sexual desires. Whether you're looking for something to use solo or with a partner, they have everything you need to satisfy your cravings. From vibrators to lingerie, bondage gear to lubricants, AdamandEve.com has it all. And the best part, you can shop with confidence, knowing that all their products are of high quality and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, penis ring, vibrator, anal sex toy, bondage toy, couples toy, lube, or accessory, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. No questions asked. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Adam and Eve is giving you 50% off almost any item on their website. That's right, 50% off. And if you act now, you'll also get free shipping. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the offer code erotica at checkout. That's erotica at adamandeve.creationworld.com for 50% off almost any item and free shipping. Don't wait. This offer won't last very long. The link is in the description. Are you tired of feeling sluggish and unfocused throughout the day? Then it's time to try Dubby, the ultimate energy source. Dubby is a powerful, clean energy drink that is designed to help you stay alert and focused no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're a student, a busy professional, an athlete, or especially a gamer, Dubby can give you the boost you need to take on the day or the night. It also contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. And the best part, Dubby is made with high-quality ingredients and is completely sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and is keto-friendly. So you can enjoy the energy boost without any of the crash, jitters, or angst that comes with traditional energy drinks. Simply mix Dubby with water and you'll have a delicious, refreshing energy drink that can help you power through your entire day. And with a variety of flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dragonade, you're sure to find one that you love. So go to dubby.creationworld.com and order your Dubby today. And for a limited time, use code Creatia at checkout to get 10% off your order. That's Creatia at dubby.creationworld.com for 10% off. Try Dubby today and feel the difference. The link is in the description.
All right, Katie.
All right, Matt.
Any other thoughts before we get to 2019's Black Christmas that you have about either 1974 or 2006?
I mean, the deaths in 2006 were definitely more brutal and graphic. I mean, the ice skate was crazy. I was like, of all the things in that room you could have chose, you threw an ice skate at her? That's crazy.
Let's talk about Crystal Lowe and that nudity without sans nipple that we talked about, right? So she's drunk, she pukes. Michelle Trachtenberg holds her hair. She needs to take a shower. So she's in the bathroom. Billy is a fucking voyeur who's like, he pops up a floor tile and his yellow eye is watching her as she strips down and gets in the shower. There's a scene where like she steps over him and he looks straight up. I can't say it. I can't. I was going to say it and I can't say it.
Don't say it. Tell me after.
At her pretty little piggy cunt.
No, Matthew. No.
We got to tie the movies together. We have to tie the movies together.
We have in other ways.
But again, you don't really see anything. You're seeing it through Billy's eye as he's looking through a hole in the floor, and she's there, but nothing's really shown. She gets put in bed. Also, her and Michelle Trachtenberg kind of get like propped up around a Christmas tree in the attic with their eyes taken out.
Yeah, which also confused me because I really thought Michelle Trachtenberg's face got like just taken completely off, and then she like has her face.
Flaws in logic. It happens.
Yeah, but that one I was like, but you can't show me her face completely off, and then that a half an hour later. Not even.
Well, think about this, right? So Billy as a kid was able to move through the walls. Somehow Billy as an adult, all grown up, was still able to move through the walls. And Agnes, who I am going to say is built like a fucking linebacker, is also moving through the walls.
How big? But we see it's not very big. Those walls. How the fuck these grown ass adults kind of going through these walls? I just don't. Your shoulder to be all fucked up because you just keep hitting everything. Yeah, like Harry. I don't fucking understand. And he goes quick. They're so fast.
Well, think about it this way. So 1974,
Uh-huh.
right? Black Christmas. What else
Yeah.
came out in 1974?
I don't know.
Think hard. We actually talked about it earlier.
What a stranger call?
Nope.
Oh. What else did we talk about?
Something that you didn't like that we've done an episode on. Covered the entire
Texas
franchise.
Chainsaw Massacre.
There you go.
It came out in 74? Why did I think it
Came
was
out in
later
74.
70s?
And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, came out in 2006.
Whoa.
Look at the difference in both the kills from the 2006 Black Christmas and Black Christmas 1974, and then the difference in the brutality of the kills in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning, or even 3 years prior in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake with Jessica Biel versus 1974's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, that is two clear cases of the evolution of brutality in horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
The kills are fucking fantastic.
Oh yeah.
2006 is probably the best part. It's probably the reason why, like, Katie and I love lore. I know it's fucked up lore, like it's really fucked up lore, but we love lore, and they gave us the lore of Billy and Agnes and their backstory.
Yeah, I learned the lore, and I was like, I don't take it back. I don't want to know the lore anymore.
But you also enjoyed this movie more.
Yeah, because I got more information just in general, like about them leaving a gift for Billy and the whole thing, and it just I don't know. And yeah,
I wouldn't call you this. I'd call myself it, but feel free to call yourself this if you want as well. Katie, what am I?
A whore?
A lore whore.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll call myself that. That's fine.
We are lore whores, despite how fucked up the lore might be. Like she said, we also got them leaving the Christmas present for Billy every year. Eve is obsessed with Billy. Like, she lived in Billy's room and found his little hideaway and his shit from his dad.
She was so obsessed.
Hiding.
That's why I should have known it wasn't her.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking red herrings, you motherfuckers.
Also, redhead. Like, every time you say red herring, did you ever watch like the Scooby-Doo when they were kids?
A pup named Scooby-Doo. Yes.
With red herring, who was a redhead.
Yes!
That's what I think of. And then Eve was a redhead. So, like,
oh my god, I loved that show. I would watch it before school every morning.
From Black Christmas incest and cannibal cookies to a pup named Scooby-Doo. I'll tell you what, a pup named Scooby-Doo crew would have figured out who the fucking killer was.
They would have found it out in 30 minutes or less.
Just saying. But overall, I enjoy the shit out of this movie. And another one that I really enjoyed, and I alluded to this. So this 2019 got a lot of shit, right? Because it's very much in the time of the Me Too movement. It's addressing these issues. It's talking about toxic masculinity, which, depending on what side of the argument you're on, is either an annoying hot button reason for people to hate on men, or acknowledging an actual issue among men and how men treat men and how men treat women and all of these other things. It deals with toxic masculinity. It deals with grape culture, sexual assault culture, we'll go with, just so we don't get in trouble for saying the word.
SA culture.
SA culture. There you go. It deals with women who speak out about their experiences and then are not believed, called ignored, called liars, and made out to be the enemy when they're not. And it also deals with these men and how they justify their actions and the shit that we have heard men say their entire lives. Well, you bitches were asking for it. Did you see how you were dressed? Blah, 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 blah. Why'd you get drunk and come? I love that the Mean Girls is like a thing, because even like the Christmas production that they put on was very Mean Girls, and the Santa outfits with the song, even though it was I love the song. The song was great.
I was not expecting it, and I was like, okay, I fucked with it. I like it. It's catchy. And honestly, good for Riley for doing that.
Up in the frat house. Anyway,
Click, click.
slip me a roofie and then your dick.
And then run off stage. Yeah.
It addresses all of these things. So essentially, I don't know. It's weird. I feel like when you make, because this isn't the only movie I've seen this in, right? Where they
Okay.
make these female sororities who are kind of like feminists, pro women sororities.
Yeah.
They always give them the moo as if like they're cows. Like I believe that's something in like Revenge of the Nerds or maybe something in National Lampoons where like or maybe it's the one with
Are you talking about Sorority Row?
not Sorority Row. No, the comedy with what the fuck's her name? She played a Playboy bunny who came back and was taking care of a frat house full of
House Bunny.
Yes. I don't know if they were moos too, but there are a few where like these women who were like not the traditional pretty sorority girls are moo whatever, that they were moo kappa in this one. But activists, feminists, there is a founder of the college who dabbled in the dark arts and was kind of a racist and a sexist, and they got his bust removed from campus. You know, they have a teacher played by one Carrie Ewells, who you know from Saw and Princess Bride, and
Dr. Gordon, what are you doing here? That's the first thing I said out loud to myself when I watched this movie, and he turned around. I said, well, "You're not supposed to be here."
Teaching anti-feminist ideals is what he's doing here.
Shocker.
Yeah. So that's really the story of this, and through the way they tell it is literal toxic masculinity. The frat boys find out. Hold on, I've got a bunch of notes on this. Let me just go to the notes.
Deeks,
which is the dick house. Yeah,
exactly.
The girls of Mu Kappa are fighting the patriarchy and assault culture. Riley, who was our main character, played by Imogen Poots, was roofied and assaulted by Brian, who was the head of the Deke house at the time. This was a year before the movie took place. No one believed her, so he basically got off scot-free. Meanwhile, as the movie's going on, there's a killer on campus who's wearing a mask of the founder who's murdering sorority girls and kind of anyone that gets in his way. And they're all sorority girls who are like activists who are pro-feminist or pro-women. I wouldn't even say feminist, just like...
just pro-women and fuck the patriarchy type shit.
The girls are fighting for their lives, literally, as they discover that the Deke pledges. So essentially, the bust that they had removed got sent to the Deke house, and at the Deke house, which Carrie Ewells is kind of the head of or whatever, they find a black substance inside, and they're like, you know what we should do? We should spread this on ourselves. And when they do that, it makes them hyper masculine, alphas as they call themselves. They're stronger, they're faster, they take hits harder, and also just complete and total assholes on this black tar substance
and
that
bleed black.
And they bleed black. And it is the Deke house members that are murdering these girls. So one of the things that I took away from this, and like I said, because I know there are people that are bothered by this and this narrative, and as we talked about earlier, like you have to let people tell their stories. Like just because this movie isn't for you specifically, you can't hate it, because this is actual, like, horror movies are made to tell the things that scare people. My wife has told me many times about how, especially as a single woman, walking down the street or in an empty parking lot at night, she would keep her keys between her fingers because she's afraid that somebody would come up and attack her, grab her, assault her, whatever. It is a fear that women have constantly. It is not a far-fetched idea that women are being roofied and assaulted. in any way, shape, or form. It exists. It happens. It happens a lot in college.
Yes, I went to a college and that happened and it was swept under the rug and it was a whole thing and I only knew about it because I worked for the university at the time.
Not going to get into it, but someone close to me had that happen to them. Not my wife, somebody else. So like, yeah, it's a actual thing. And I think that's kind of why this one hits home a little harder for me too, in that aspect, because it is a real issue. It is a real thing. It's really terrifying for women, especially to not be believed or to wake up and not know what happened to you, you know?
Yeah.
So with all of that, like, I hate seeing people be like, oh, this is just blah, 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 and belittling the Me Too movement and the ideas that these things are real things, because either A, you're a person who's done this shit and you feel guilty and you hate yourself and you're trying to hide it by calling it bullshit because you know you're that kind of person, or if you don't really see the issues here, then there's something wrong with you. Like if you can't see why this movie was made and the point of it, like I said, if that kind of social commentary is not what you're looking for in horror, as someone who, like I said, is not into like art house horror films, because I'm not looking for that kind of stuff. Like I'm not looking to read into subtext and blah, 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 blah to understand a movie. I just want to sit down and enjoy it and watch the kills and all of that. That part's fine. But like belittling the movie for what they're trying to do, that irks me. That bothers me, because you shouldn't try and take, again, something that we do here at Creation will just give people a voice, whether, you know, whatever your sexual orientation, your chosen gender, your status as a male, a female, a they, them, blah, 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 race, religion, like that's what we do. We support those people and we want to give them a voice. And by belittling these things or calling them bullshit or hating on them because of what they are, you're taking those voices away from people. And it's actually, aside from that, like I said, a really fun, really good movie. Like the attacks and the kills, the girls fighting back against this guy or these guys in the masks. You see the guy that's kind of flirting a little bit with our main character,
Landon.
Riley. Yeah, Landon flirting with her, and then he gets indoctrinated with the toxic masculinity unwillingly, because he also thinks these guys are assholes. The friend who betrays Riley,
I was like, you fucking bitch.
There are women out there who actually think and say and do those things, who think that it is a woman's
I know.
place.
And it baffles me that is a thing, and unfortunately it's so real. But if I could do what happens to Helena to all of them,
That's the thing. Like,
happier.
She was submissive. She was exactly what they asked for, and they still made an example out of her and killed her anyway.
Oh, they snapped her fucking neck.
Yeah, because she was collecting all of the accoutrement of the girls as the sacrifices to put on the altar so that they were chosen. And
she stole Franny's Diva Cup. For those who don't know what a Diva Cup is, it's basically like you insert it into your vagina and it just collects the blood in the cup, and then you have to dump it out, clean it, and then you put it back in. It's disgusting. I don't understand. I personally don't use them. It's weird for me. It's a weird thing, and I'm not even kidding. That is what they are.
I'm not going to lie to you. Until this moment, I had no idea what that was. I assumed that a Diva Cup was because, like, she was like, oh, I have to go do my exams. I thought it was just like one of those things that girls use to, like, pee.
Nope.
Like, you know what I'm talking about, though? Like, the
yeah, I know
and then so they can pee like boys pee.
I know what you're saying, and no, this is very much for that specific time of the month. And when I found out that was a thing, I said, why? I don't understand, but people use them. I don't judge them, but I would never. I just don't understand. But like the fact that Helena took it, gross. How dare you?
Also, Helena's the reason why Riley had to perform the song and dance that she wrote because Helena got too drunk and
Well, at that
left.
point,
And
did she?
was
Was that
she
all a ruse?
probably to get Riley on stage
Bitch.
because Brian was going to be there and they thought they could get her, and then she grew a backbone and handled her business. My favorite part is at the end, though, when Riley's by herself with all of these frat guys, and then the rest of the sorority girls that are with her that survived go and collect the other sorority girls that survived, and they all show up and they're like armed with arrows and shit, and they walk in like the Avengers at the end of at the end of Endgame, like,
Dude,
Riley, on your 6.
on your 6. I just want to know why the fuck one of these killers thinks they're fucking Katniss with a goddamn bow and arrow. Like, A, where did you find this? B, are you just an archer in your spare time? And C,
Maybe it's an archery major.
Why is that your weapon of choice? I just don't. Whatever. But then Chris with the save at the end, the nice arrow to the dude trying to get in Riley's business. Also, I hate frat boys. Just in general, because I dealt with so many of them. The frat boys in this movie that were just like, and I know it was a movie, but like just an extra sprinkle of asshole. It's just the way they talked, the way Brian was chewing his gum was pissing me off. Just, no, fuck off. I was infuriated that entire last scene before the Avengers came in. The sorority Avengers.
The sorority Avengers. That sounds like a porn parody.
I hate you.
Tell me
it
wrong.
Does. You're not wrong. But no, it's just like when the king comes in, you get on your knees, bitch. I was sitting here fuming that entire scene.
That's the great. So one of my favorite things when I talk to you about stuff like this is like, that's the great thing about these movies. And one of the reasons why we love wrestling is because they create characters that are so unlikable that you can't wait to see die. Like, we talked about how you felt about Evelyn in burying the ex. We're talking about
that bitch.
The frat boys in this.
Hate him.
The frat boy from the Friday the 13th remake, whatever the fuck his name was, that was
that was
dude.
Yeah, that was banging the blonde chick.
Tits are stupendous. That guy.
Oh, that guy sucked.
I hated the fact that he got to have sex with her, and I just wanted him to die so bad, and he did, and it was so satisfying when that happens. And that's the beauty of these movies, is like, it's so satisfying to see these characters get their comeuppance. And it almost, not in this case because the same people were the bad guys, but in some cases it almost turns the horror villains, the person you're supposed to be scared of, into a little bit of a hero for a moment, because you're like, yeah, finally, at least you got that guy,
Yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah, Jason, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always team Jason, because 9 times out of 10, they deserve it, but like, they're shitty camp counselors.
I mean, are they though?
Kind of. Some of them are.
How many movies in Friday the 13th actually have camp counselors in the franchise? Riddle me that, Katie.
1, 2, 3. 3?
3 movies, yes. Unless you count the virtual camp counselors in Jason X.
I completely forgot about them, so no.
There are 13, I think, movies now in the Friday 13th franchise.
Oh, there's so many.
If you count Freddy versus Jason.
Which I think we did.
And out of 13 movies, 3 of them actually have camp counselors. And only one of those 3 actually have kids that make it to camp.
True. That's true. I digress. Whatever.
So,
whatever.
Of these 3 movies, which one did you enjoy the most?
I think 2019. As much as it pissed me off because the amount of people that I know who were like the toxic frat boys. It was, I mean, sprinkling some humor. I liked the characters. I can't remember, I want to say her name was Marty. She was like, we're like ants to Chris. And I was like, oh, that's cute. I liked that. I was like, they are. Like, and I've dealt with a lot of sorority girls in my life, and my roommates freshman year were all in sororities, and I absolutely hated it dealing with them.
Marty was hot too, by the way.
She was beautiful. I loved her.
And her boyfriend ended up being kind of a dick. Like, again, with the overstepping asshole kind of boyfriend showing up.
Well, I think in that case, it was because of... So, I realized it, like, when I was, like, watching it. He was all chill and fine, and then he, like, starts, like, getting, like, the ringing in his head. Even though he didn't have the black goo on his forehead, it was still just the aura, because it happens to Landon before they do it to him. So I think that's why. Because he kind of just flips on a dime.
Yeah.
You know? Which, fuck that. Nate, Smoosh was okay. Until that point. But, like, goddamn. This movie was... I liked it. I didn't like the ending because I didn't like the way Riley was looking at the building burning as if someone was in there. I didn't like that because I could tell by her face that it wasn't the end, and it was.
Okay. Do you remember how the glass unicorn that you so much loved came into play here?
Was that it? I literally just watched this yesterday and this morning. Is that in the kitchen? On one of the masked men? Yeah? One of the frat boys? Yeah. Yeah. I love that fucking glass unicorn head.
That whole kitchen fight scene was fucking awesome.
Oh my god, the anxiety I got when Chris was trying to tiptoe around the counter and he was just standing on it. I was nervous. I was like, don't kill her. Riley needs someone.
Yeah. For me, I think it's still 2006. I think that's always going to be my favorite just because, again, it's the first Black Christmas that I watched. Also, being a kid who kind of came of age around, like, I turned 18 in 2005. So, like, fuck you. I turned 18 in 2005, graduated high school. So that was like those prime formative years when I was really embracing horror and getting in, like really, really getting into horror. That came out and it was around then. So that's always going to hold a special place in my heart. I do love, if I were to rank them, it would be 2006, 2019, and then 1974. The whole When a Stranger Calls thing just doesn't really do it for me. I know there are a lot of people who love, and don't get me wrong, as a fan of like the original Halloween, I get the love of those classic films, but seeing it after
against these two, it's kind of hard to keep it up there.
Which I hate because then I hear kids say that about like, oh well, the original Halloween versus blah blah blah, and I'm like, fuck you kids, you don't know anything. So like I'm both. I'm the old man on my lawn yelling about how the classics are the classics, but I'm also like, yeah, except not this one, because when I was growing up, this was my movie, and I get both sides.
I definitely see both sides of it. Like for a lot of scenarios, and a lot of times I go with the classics because they just happen to be better. But I don't know, occasional remake gets made, and I'm like, damn, that is really fucking good.
So this episode has kind of taken a fucking roller coaster ride, because like I was not expecting to get so deep into the meaning behind 2019 and
the social commentary, if you will.
Because we went like, oh yeah, like we dealt with abortion, but also the movie was kind of and then we're like incest and cannibalism, and then we're like personal real life. Yeah. So Christmas movies.
Christmas movies.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I watch these every Christmas. Like, so Better Watch Out, which if you haven't seen, you need to watch.
I did almost watch it the other day.
No. Listen, you need to watch. No, Katie, seriously, you are gonna love that fucking movie, and also kind of fucking hate it. It's gonna be one of those.
Okay.
It's fucking awesome.
I think I saw like the trailer, or like when I was like clicking on it, like the thing that just plays when you're hovering over it.
It's gonna be one of those ones where like you're watching it and you're like, okay, and then when you see what's going on and how fucked up the movie gets, you're like, what the fuck is happening?
Okay.
But it Better Watches Out is great. I've made you enjoy Santa's Sleigh. Santa's Sleigh is fantastic. It is a favorite of mine. Bill Goldberg dressed as Santa, frying strippers on a stripper pole. You can't beat it. You really can't.
Mm-hmm.
Lore, Katie.
I
Santa
know.
is the son of Satan.
I know.
1,000-year bet. Angels and demons. Good shit. Then you got Krampus is another one. Oh, then you got All Three Black Christmases. Krampus is another one that I love watching every time this around this year since it came out, which was I think like 2015 or 16, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Again, another. I enjoy the lore of Krampus, and I actually have a Krampus bell on my Christmas tree.
Do we ever talk about, or have I talked to you that they're going to make a second Krampus?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, they're making a second Krampus. Surprise.
News and rumors.
I thought I already talked to you about this. That's why I didn't say it.
Maybe. Jack Frost is ridiculous. Shannon Elizabeth murdered by a snowman in a shower that kind of absorbs her. It's a thing. It happens. Don't see anything because it's pre-American Pie. So not quite there yet. I hate when they tease me. I hate when they're like, "Oh, you're gonna see something," and then you see nothing. Real quick, just because I'm trying to drag this episode on, just so we hit the hour 30 mark, which we will once we plug everything. So, are you familiar with the Puppet Master series? Just like familiar that it exists?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So, Puppet Master is like, I don't know why, but it's Travis's favorite horror movies. As someone who doesn't really like horror movies, Travis loves Puppet Master. They get really weird and they get really deep into Nazi shit, like like not pro-Nazi shit, but just like everything's kind of about the Nazis as they get into like 10, and there's a lot of fucking Puppet Master.
10?
Yeah. The first couple are, and then it goes off the rails. It Fast and the Furious the fuck out of that franchise.
Got it.
But it's made by Full Moon, right? So I'm on Amazon and I see, I can get a subscription to Full Moon. Let me check that out and see like what, because like they also have like Evil Bong and Ginger Dead Man, which are terrible fucking movies, but like so bad that they're kind of fun to watch a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, let me hop on this train. You know what else Full Moon Production makes?
What?
Pretty much everything that was on Skinamax.
Really?
And it's all there. And I watched a movie called Boondock Bordello.
Okay.
I have no idea what the fuck I watched, Katie. Because, like, the idea was supposed to be that there were these bikini calendar girls, April, May, and June, just 3 of them. And they're going to go on a tour. One of them was fucking the guy that was running the tour, who was dating another one of the girls. And she was trying to convince him that they should make their calendar topless so that they can make more money. There's also a place called Ghost Gulch where there's this horny country girl whose grandpa makes moonshine and some rich stoner kid who buys They end up at Ghost Gulch and they're supposed to put on a show for the tour, and then they all end up getting topless and it's a thing and blah blah blah, right? But also there was this weird like story that it started out with that's not in the description that was actually about a bordello, where there was like a madam and these people were trying to get her bordello shut down that had nothing to do with the rest of the story. And then randomly one of the girls from the bikini thing was playing someone else in a completely third movie that started in the middle during it. And I don't know if like this was the actual movie or if somehow the streaming service fucked up and just cut like 3 movies into it. I don't know what the fuck was going on. I'm so fucking confused. And there are key parts of every story that I missed out on. Like I could, it's not a hard story to tell. I could piece together what happened, but also like there are key, like as they go back and forth, and then the random third movie that just shows up in this, like I was so lost.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like it like the Cuckoo Clock of Doom type shit where you're kind of just like flipping through and choosing your own adventure.
So again, you can subscribe to it on Prime Video. I know you won't, but you can.
I definitely will not, but thank you.
What do we have here? We have Haunted Hellcats, Love Cycle, Batwoman, interesting. Stone Age Sirens, Sorority Babes 2 in the Slime Bowl Orama, Zombie Decadence, Ooga Booga, Boondock Bordello, Bloodlust Subspecies 3,
okay,
Decadent Evil, Power Couple Confessions, Slave Girls from Beyond Infinity, Attack Plan Virgo, Escape from Pleasure Planet, Bad Channels, Elvira's 10 Nights of Halloween. Okay. William Shatner's Full Moon Halloween Fright Vision Horror Vision.
Okay.
Ginger Dead Man 2, The Passion of the Crust. Visions of Beauty, Intergalactic Swingers, Deathbed, A Spirit Scorned. And that title might not give it away, but if you saw the cover, you'd be like, okay, I know what this is about. Ginger Dead Man 2, Bakery of Blood. So maybe that was 3. Moon Maidens, Hex Education, and it's 3 girls in schoolgirl costumes.
Of course.
Weedy's Halloween Night, Weedgee's Halloween Night, Shrunken Heads Remastered, The Pit and the Pendulum, Raw Meat, The Haunted Dollhouse. Yeah, no, a lot of the yeah, it's that. It's a lot of that. Scream of the Blind Dead.
Oh.
Murderbot.
No, thank you. No, thank
Dragon you. Against Vampire.
Very descriptive.
So yeah, go check out if any of that sounds interesting to you, or you just need some old school spank bang material. Curse of the Reanimator, episode 6, Rise of the Dead.
They made a show?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out. High Noon on Makeout Planet.
Jesus Christ.
Blood of a Thousand Virgins. Piranha Women.
He's still going.
Just check it out. Katie.
No.
Go ahead and plug yourself and everyone. For everyone. Not plug everyone. Don't plug everyone. I mean, if you want to plug other people, you can plug other people. I'm sure people would love to watch that, hear that. They'd appreciate getting plugged. But at least plug yourself.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, GatorWrestling13, the link to your about take all things Juliet Showcase, twitch.tv/Juliet Showcase, and youtube.com/Juliet Showcase, typically Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. We have our seasonal showcase this week. Juliet Showcase Awards next week. Patreon.com/Juliet Showcase, where you can see exclusive non-wrestling content every month, except this month because a lot of reasons. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Everyone else is like doing their year interview and shit like this week, and I'm like, I'm still going. I don't care. I don't take a break.
Well, we
It's my
know
own show.
Botch Spots and Chair Shots is off for about as long as we're off. You'll also be able to catch Katie tomorrow on the Creation Conversation with Bridget,
Yeah, I'll be there.
bright and early. You'll be able to check me out Tuesday and Wednesday this week, and that'll be the last time on Wednesday you'll see me for 2 weeks. So come check that out as well. You guys can follow everything Matt Ritter at Matt Ritter on Twitter at MATTRIDDER for your wrestling content at Getting Offed, which is the show that you're listening to or maybe watching back. For your horror content and everywhere else on social media, whether it is Blue Sky,
Sky Blue,
TikTok, Instagram, Threads at Smacking It Raw, which will get you a little bit of everything from what we do here.
Yeah.
And follow Creation World, all social media at It's Creation World, ITSCREATIA World.
Okay.
For Miss Katie Kinsey Bay, I am the patron saint of podcast and the Warden Matt Ritter. This has been your #1 horror podcast on Pornhub.